Let's get to the headlines now, see what the papers are saying in Nigeria. Interesting headlines. It's Monday after Nigerians went to the polls for supplementary elections in few states, and the outcome is on the papers today. Most of the papers are reporting that this morning. We have in the studio Leadership and Communication Strategist, Dr. John, as well as Shijibumi Adeni Bennett. Gentlemen, good morning. It's good to have you join me.
Good morning, Mike. It's good to be here.
I hope we had a great weekend.
Fantastic.
All right. Let's begin with the Punch newspaper now. APC's Ganduje Lalong win. PDP's Tambowal Otom re-elected. Hussaini Jime Aliu Yusuf cake and vow to challenge results. Okay, that's what the Punch newspaper is saying this morning. Now, away from the Punch, let's go to the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun is on governorship elections. Tambowal Ganduje Otom Lalong win. And PDP clinches Sokoto Benue. APC wins. Plateau and Kano. Bauchi Adamawa wait for court. Okay, that's how the Daily Sun simply puts it. From there, let's go to The Guardian now. The Guardian is reporting the same thing. PDP wins in Benue, Bauchi, Sokoto, and APC takes Kano and Plateau. And opposition party rejects Kano result. CSOs flay violence and vote buying. Okay. From The Guardian, let's go now to the Vanguard. Vanguard is the last one this morning. Tension in Kano as Ganduje wins. PDP rejects results. And there's some multiple riders there saying businesses, markets remain shut. Busy roads quiet in Kano. And Tambowal along Otom re-elected. And Bala Mohammed leads, awaits court decision in Bauchi. And Hussaini heads to court in Plateau. And APC also rejects Sokoto results. Okay, gentlemen, it seemed like it's more of the fallout from the presidential supplementary election, governorship rather, not presidential. Presidential has been concluded, so we don't have to go there anymore. But there are some of the issues I'd like to bring to your attention this morning on page 24 of the Punch. Anxiety as Saraki's group plans to influence 9th Senate leadership. We've learned our lesson, says Lawan. Okay, there are undercurrents already as to how the next leadership is going to be, and all eyes are on the Senate president on how he's going to turn out. Doctor.
Yes, I think there's no reason for us to fear as a people. Again, I understand why the anxiety is a little bit very high. It's because of the fact that every one person, perhaps in Nigeria, was made to believe that the problem of the passing government or this administration was the leadership of National Assembly. But to me, I felt the problem was not the leadership of National Assembly. It's a combination of both the excesses of executive and the recesses of the legislature. So either ways, the problem was with APC. The leadership of the party, at least the Senate president, came from the fold of APC, was elected the party leader, the National Assembly
even though
leader.
it was an election against the party zoning.
Of course, I can authoritatively tell you that there were people in presidency who knew about the election of Saraki as the Senate president.
Okay, Shijibumi, the point there is, we heard lots of politicians, especially party members, calling on the president to be very interested in who becomes the leadership of the National Assembly.
It is very, very important so that we don't find ourselves in the conundrum that we found ourselves in.
Why should the president get involved in that? The National Assembly or the legislature is an independent arm of government.
Yes, when it becomes, when it has been formed and inaugurated and when business starts. But before that time, the president as of today is the leader of the party, is the national leader of the party. And you must be able to chart a course for your party. You must be able to cast a vision for your party.
Will he not be usurping the powers of the chairman of the party if he does that?
The chairman of the party is the one that's going to make sure the logistics and everything that has to do with the emergence of the party's choice comes into play. But like the last time, we knew what happened. For everybody and for nobody, and it got us to where we are. Because so
now he should be for everybody and for everybody.
For me, he has not even shown leadership in terms of the elections that we had. Because let's be very, very realistic. Those governors worked for the president.
Did you say the president didn't show leadership?
In terms of politicking. And it's affecting the party. this is politics. It is not just governance. When you mean governance, then you don't have to use brute force. You don't use the the military. But lobbying for your party, we saw what happened in Ogun State. It could have gone either way, but the APC still retained it because the vice president came to Ogun State, campaigned for his party. Soldiers were not used. 4 hours on the streets of Abeokuta, and with different endorsements, they were able to make the state. We are just saying it is important for you, for people to know where you stand, because people look up to the president.
All right, Dr. The point there is that the president has been seen to allow institutions grow at their own pace, at their own level. States, go handle your issues. Even at the campaigns, he said, I will not release monies. Go, all parties, go, and you can use text messages, you can use social media. Go on. Isn't that better to allow the system to grow?
In all fairness, that is how governance, and I'm speaking from being a leadership teacher now, that's how governance is supposed to be. If you look at the last 16 years of PDP, one of the reasons why they could not perform very excellently was because of the fact that the president was interested in everything. He was the leader of the party, he was the leader of government, and he was doing all manner of things. He could sit in Abuja and remove a governor in far southeast. So now, but this system we are running is new. It's new to us as political animals. It's new to the party system we have been running. You know, the party system we've been running is winner takes all, and they want to lord over everybody. But we have a president now who is a little bit like, oh, let me separate politicking from governance. But again, in doing so, you need to know that people will naturally resist some kind of change. So you need to put structure in place. I insist again that the problem of this present administration was not the leadership of National Assembly. It was a problem within APC that they were not able to solve, and it is not the problem of leadership of National Assembly.
So the party would, like the Senate leader Lawan is saying, that we've learned our lessons. So
I hope they've learned, because where this problem started from, it would be unfair for us to continue to point fingers at Saraki. In all honesty, where this problem started from was because of the fact that they were not coming forth with a common ground. The national leader camp was rooting for somebody. Some powerful people within the presidency, I'm privy to some of this information, were the one rooting for Saraki because they wanted to at least reduce the power of somebody in Lagos. That was what led to all these things. It was not the problem of Saraki. There were people within the presidency who were rooting for him, and it was because they wanted to reduce the power of somebody in Lagos.
Became counterproductive.
And it became counterproductive.
All right. One other issue I'd like us to look at here is on page 3 of the Sun, Daily Sun. Igbo leaders restate commitment to restructuring. When it comes to restructuring, how popular is that right now, Shinjibumi?
I think restructuring is not something anybody is talking about now because of politicking.
Yes.
And but
almost everyone has said that's the way to go.
For me, it is inevitable.
Okay.
It is inevitable because we still have a lot of different biases, and for us, it is important that we get it right on time. So if I believe that the present, by the time the present government takes the new mandate, they will be able to do a lot. Then even if not restructuring, call it any name. Let's have processes in place. Let's have state police. Let's have, you know, some of the concurrent stuffs reduced. Let's have some of the federal powers devolved to the center, to the different states. So little by little, we try to prune the excesses and the power of the center.
All right, Doctor, the president has said that going forward, that the days ahead are going to be tough, and everyone should brace himself one way or the other. Are you expecting some new surprises?
Of course, that was the same thing that Mr. President said when he was coming in, that expect some gang set of people that will be ministers, and at the end of the day, we didn't see any gang. So I wasn't expecting anything. But again, if the president actually meant the fact that it's going to be tough, I take it to mean that he wants to begin to build system, because building system is usually very costly. The problem we have now is, I take it from the angle of restructuring and all that. If we do not solve the problem of leadership, if we restructure, we are still going to, are we going to restructure our mind or leadership style? We are not going to, until we build a system that runs on its own, so that when you are going on the far SS, the system will be able to caution you. Imagine if there were no systems in the United States. The Twitter president would have scattered everywhere. But systems has a way of pulling him and calling him to order, even when he wants to go overboard.
APC's Ganduje Lalong win, PDP's Tambuwal Otom re-elected. Useni Jime Aliyu Yusuf Kik vow to challenge results. To the Daily Sun, governorship elections, Tambuwal Ganduje Otom Lalong win, PDP clinches Sakwato Benue, APC wins Plateau Kanu, Bauchi Adamawa waits for court. And the Guardian, PDP wins in Benue, Bauchi Sakwato, APC takes Kanu, Plateau. Opposition party rejects Kanu results. CSO's flee violence vote buying. And to the Vanguard, tension in Kanu as Ganduje wins. PDP rejects results. Businesses, markets remain shut. Busy roads quiet in Kanu. Tambuwal Lalong Otom re-elected. Bala Mohammed leads awaits court decision in Bauchi. Useni heads to court in Plateau. APC also rejects Sakwato results. The Nation now, we have Otom Lalong Ganduje Tambuwal win elections. Useni Jime Yusuf Sakwato vow to launch legal battles. And to this day, INEC declares Lalong Otom Tambuwal Ganduje re-elected. Mohammed wins extra election in Bauchi. PDP kicks over Kanu. The Daily Trust, Ganduje Tambuwal Lalong Otom win second term. Abubakar Bindo waiting for court verdict. New Telegraph, Tambuwal Otom survive APC's onslaught. Ganduje wins Kanu. Lalong wins in Plateau. Useni heads to tribunal. Bauchi governor's fate hangs in the balance. PDP APC kick in Kanu. Well, gentlemen, we'll go to The Guardian, where a story that might be of interest to you is experts warn that tuberculosis is spreading, is becoming untreatable in Nigeria. And according to the World Health Organization, the prevalence of the scourge in Nigeria is between 400,000 and 450,000 cases, which is the highest in Africa and the sixth in the world. Dotun,
Sixth in the world, largest
alarming.
in Africa. It is alarming, but when you take a look at our population and you compare with our entire health system, then you will not be totally surprised. You know, the prevalence of the disease became very prominent from 1985 when HIV and AIDS crept into the country, because what that does is to destroy the immune system, and immune system can no longer carry some of these diseases. But I think rather than building what's it called, camp for these people, we should look beyond building camps and all that and make our health system really working. If we can make our health system working, it is actually preventable, and it is preventable, and it used to be curable. And if you look at, I'm going to cite an example of the amount of money that Global Fund alone has committed over $1.2 billion to treating malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS in Nigeria. But when you get to Oshodi under bridge now, you see some of the mosquito-treated nets that are being sold there. It shows that corruption too has an effect on some of these things. If we have a national budget and we have some foreign donors giving us money to treat and take care of some of these diseases, if we do not pump the money into some of these sectors,
we'll keep facing these challenges.
Yeah.
Shijubomi, your thoughts on this matter? Dotun is saying that if we have, if the system is working, we wouldn't have this alarming figure. Is that what it is?
Yes, one has to do with the system, and the other one has to do partly with the system, which is education. Because I know tuberculosis is preventable, like you said, and when we were younger, we used to take the vaccine. Yeah. So, and you wouldn't have a problem. I think as a teenager, I still took the vaccine because one came, I think, late 90s or early 90s. So we had to take it again because it meant, because it was painful, and my mom was saying, with this one, you don't have to take it forever again. So all these things are based on the level of orientation, sensitization that we give to our people. And if we really look at these statistics, you will see and discover that everything has to do much more with the northern part of the country. So because people are being carefree with the health sector over there, I know so many governments are trying to do new things there, like the Kano state government and the the Katsina state government in terms of hospitals and all that. But the orientation and the sensitization is very key.
Now we have a type that is resistant to treatment. And you know that when we've had cases of even Lassa fever and all of those things that we've had to also deal with. How do you see the place of research in all of this? You know, dealing with this problems, because we cannot really be relying on, you know, what comes from NGOs and all of that. We need to also put things in place beyond having health facilities.
I was going into that. The challenge we have is we solve today's problems alone. We don't think ahead of the future problems. We are not proactive, we're reactive. When the scourge was on, same thing like Lassa fever. Lassa fever also is getting out of hands now because of the even malaria. The disinfectants are not working again. And the report came out late last year that all these, I don't want to mention names now, that we use, don't kill them anymore. So there has to be an evolution and reinvention of new products that can take care of that. So what have we been doing? When the whole world is trying to get, now there is a new research that HIV can be cured. And it has been,
and even cancer.
Yes, 2 patients have received treatment and cured 100%. So, but in Nigeria, I think I'm an optimist, and I always believe in this country, because just last week we had that even UNN started the refuse to electricity and recycle plant, and they generated about 100 kilowatts. So 1,000 kilowatts, I think. So these are the things we need to do. We need to do research so that we can plan for tomorrow's problem.
You see, proactive people or reactive people are usually controlled by event and circumstances, while proactive people are in control of event and circumstances. You see, we have built a university system, for example, and I'm going to come in from that angle, where the VCs are interested in becoming returning officers than actually sitting in the university and ensuring that research are actually done. But again, like I mentioned, the issue of the system, even the government is not serious with research, because if you look at the allocation that have been sent to university daily, yearly, you discover that a chunk of them are just for administrative purposes, not investment into research. So as a people, we should not submit the totality of our destiny into the hand of foreign bodies and organizations and keep expecting them to use us as a research object. Because these things we are talking about now, we should be able to think about homegrown solution.
Definitely.
Within the country, we have the capacity, using herb and whatever investment we can use. That's
where I was going to go to, using the use of herbs. Yes. How do we collaborate with these people to ensure that we can deal with this number? Because we have a target of 2020 where, you know, we should have eliminated these things.
You see, I'm not even moved by the target, because most of these things we have set target. I was a boy when I had Vision 2010 and the SDG came again and all that. I'm not even interested in the target. I'm interested in the willingness of government. First, if you continue to set target without willingness, it will remain a target. It's a goal that will remain a dream. But if we're actually serious, I am a believer in what HAP can do if research is actually launched into it. Some of these things we can cure within. We don't need foreign donors to come to donate money for us before we do it, if we are really serious about developing the health sector. All
right, Dr. John Shijibomi Bedet, thank you for your time on the paper review this morning.